Last year, Harvest Field Farms lost their cattle and pigs to disease. We've been called in to help. Our goal is to help rebuild their herd and make the farm profitable again within 2 years. Whether we will succeed or not remains to be seen. Welcome to SWU Farm Rescue. Hello everyone, welcome to SWU Farm Rescue. We're who farmers call when disaster strikes to help them get back on their feet, make their farm profitable, and set up a good business plan to keep it profitable for years to come. This season we'll be meeting with Harvest Field Farms. We're coming up on their property here. We got this field to the right, has oats in it that is ready to harvest. That'll be one of the first things we do. To our left, we have a field that has nothing planted in it, so we'll have to make some plans here to what we want to do with that next. And coming up there, you can see the farm. Very pretty, nice. We got some corn on the right as well. Look at those silos. Oh, we got our guys out there that already set up some harvesters for us to get the oats going today. They got here before I did. Pretty exciting. Let's go ahead and pull in. There's a guest house for me around the corner here. We'll go park there, get established, and then do a little bit more of a tour and really evaluate what we're working with in person. All right, we'll get the truck shut off here. Look at that fancy logo. You can see we got some equipment here for scouting the soil. We'll take the soil samples of some of the fields that we can do that on now. Some of them we'll have to wait for harvest and then we can scan them, but those are gonna be some of the first things that we're gonna do to help around the farm for the Harvest family. And we look in here, this is our little house. This is where we're gonna be living. I think it's pretty sweet. We got a little bathroom here, little living quarters. You see we got a couple beds. That'll be my main bed. And then we got 2 farmhands with us that will be staying as well. Tight quarters, but I think it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and take a quick look over here at some of the equipment. Looks like a lot of our hay, silage, and grass equipment here. We got a nice John Deere 7810. Oh, nice setup for mowing. Forage wagon, tedder. We got our rake here, our baler, a nice little bale loader, so that'll be nice. We don't have to use forks or anything. We can just use that. That's a pretty cool tool there. I believe this is where the cows were, so right now it's kind of sad and empty, but we will be working on replenishing their herd, as we mentioned. And over this way is the pigsty, so we can take a look at that later. I want to speed up. We got a lot to do here in August. There's the family home. We won't spend much time there. Look at those. Oh wow, what a setup. Got a little workshop, another garage here. Go ahead and go to this one that's open already. This must be where some of the equipment that's out on the field is. Got another John Deere. It's a 6230R. Nice planter, seeder, cultivator. Very nice. Before we head out to the fields, I wanted to go over the financial situation here. See, there's a $250,000 loan, which is really taken out to keep them afloat. It's a short term. They have monthly payments of $21,000. So that's the big reason why they called us in. They were struggling. They weren't sure they're going to get through the year, and they were worried about losing the farm. You can see their mortgage that they just took out again as well, just over $450,000, and it is a 30-year term. Goal number 1 is going to be making sure there's enough money each month to pay for that loan. $21,000 is a lot, so we're going to have to be creative with a few things. After that, the next goal will be to get all the livestock replenished here. We'll have to go to the livestock market and pick up some chickens first, I think is what we'll start with, because we do have a wheat field to harvest today, so that'll give us some feed, and we don't want to buy any animals until we can feed them. Their stock was really contaminated and had to get rid of all the food as well, all the grains, and so they're really starting over. Luckily, all these crops have been tested and there's no disease in any of them, so we're good at that point. So we just passed one of their fields there. That's soybeans. That'll be ready to harvest in a couple months. I believe this canola is going to be ready in a couple weeks, possibly, maybe a month or so. The corn, it's got a little ways to go for the corn as well. Let's open the tablet again. We can see where we're sitting here is field 14 if you look at us on our tablet, and the corn is field 7, just to get your direction straight there. 13 has soybeans, as we mentioned. 8 has oats. Field 9, we can decide what we're going to put in there. That'll be one that we'll scan after I get this harvest going for the soil samples. And then we have wheat on field 10. So today our focus is going to be fields 8, 10, and 11 where there's grass. We want to start getting that prepared to get feed for the cows that are eventually going to be here, and a little bit of extra for the pigs as well. And the corn will definitely be helpful for the pigs. So we got the harvesters going. I'm going to run the grain cart for now. We should be able to get this done pretty quickly. We're hoping to get this one done before lunch. I'm gonna go to a good location to just kind of start helping them. You know, one of the first things we're gonna want to look at upgrading is definitely the pickup situation here. Oh my guys, come on, you can't miss that much. Let's go ahead and go aside this one and help them out. Make sure we're keeping them unloaded. Not expecting a great yield. We're gonna improve that for the family here. There we go. That should do it. Oh, we gotta keep up to speed. We don't want to lose any product. It's absolutely a lot to do today, so we will check in with you a little bit later after this harvest is done. Well, it's been a long, hard day of harvesting. We got the wheat done, we got the oats done, as well as the grass fields and a couple extra grass areas that aren't necessarily planted and fertilized and treated, but natural grass growing. So we took advantage of that there. Got it in the silo pit, gonna have it ferment. All of it's gonna be silage this time around. There's no real reason to keep the goods right now for the animals because there are no animals. So we're getting the soil samples set. We'll get those sent out. We'll probably hear back in September about that. The only fields we can really do for this right now are the ones that we've harvested and the one field that hasn't been planted yet in the area. So we'll get all those sent out so we can start collecting that data. This will be the first real expense of our adventure. So we had to spend about $18,000 on soil samples. We'll get all that back next month. But next, I want to go over all of the yield details that we got back from today's harvest. So we look at this chart here, you can see a lot of yellow and a lot of red. Red starts at 50. Most of these look like they're around the 60 to 55% range. At best, we're getting maybe 85% yield. Not great at all. So those samples are definitely going to help. We'll get the pH and everything in order after that. We can see we have 108, almost 109 liters of oats. 54 liters of wheat. We'll save that for the chickens. We're going to go ahead and get one full trailer here and sell it. We are short for the bills for the month, so hopefully this will be enough. We'll figure out the exact place we can sell that at and report back. So part of the deal here is we get control of the finances for the 2 years. Obviously, we get everything approved by the owners before we spend or sell any items. So we're sitting at $15,000 right now with the bills around $24,000 a month. We want to keep about 30 to 35 in the account every month just to be safe and have a little bit of extra for some operating costs. Obviously, that's just the starting. Eventually, we want to get it to where we have like 100,000, a good amount of a security backup in case the tractor breaks down or another vehicle comes for sale or a good opportunity, so we have some money to buy things. And we're going to teach them our ways and how to get them profitable and having a thriving farm and really limit the amount of employees or farm hands that they're going to need long term. So we're almost at the place. We'll sell this and hopefully it'll get us around $20,000 so we can be good for the month. Otherwise, we'll have to do another trip. Put us at 33.5. Not a bad guess. Let's get back to the farm and sleep for the night. I think we're all set for the day. Well, good morning. We just got done with the meeting with the harvests. Let them know all of the updates, and let's go ahead and show you a little bit. Here's a little spreadsheet that I've been working on with them. It shows our current inventory, what we have in stock, and the maximum prices based off the research that I've done. And right now we're sitting at about $250,000 in income, but we have a lot to buy. And I think this first purchase is gonna be probably something to take care of lime, but I think for the time when we get to the corn harvest, we're gonna want a bigger trailer. And that's something that they sold as they were trying to just save the farm. They sold some of their bigger equipment to save a little bit of cash. That's some of the things we're trying to repair for them. So we're kind of getting a game plan going. We might have to sell some of the oats today. We'll check the canola prices and see if it makes more sense to sell the oats or the canola. We want to wait till the best price is available, but with things needing to be purchased and money needing to be had, we're gonna have to do a little bit of that a little early. All right, the boys are already started. Hopefully I get there in time and they're not completely full. Other thing we want to do periodically is do a little debt and income check-in. You can see on the screen right now we're showing our bank account is sitting at $8,412. When we look at the loans, we are still at $229,000 for the important loan that's due monthly, the $21,000 payment. The mortgage, it's going to take a while to chip away at that. We're making the payments. We're going to be able to help them keep making the payments, but I want to get rid of that debt for them too in this 2 years. So, what did these boys do? Why did they start in the... Come on, guys, you're better than that. One thing we failed to mention was we were talking about buying chickens already, and we had the health services come in and inspect the grounds one more time to make sure everything was good, and I'm hoping by the end of this harvest we'll hear back from them on the results. We didn't want to buy any livestock and have them, catch the same diseases if the cleanup wasn't done good enough, so we are waiting for the results for that. So that might slow down progress a little bit, but we'll also have to keep that in mind as we make decisions on what to sell and what to keep and all of that. We'll make sure we have enough food for the chickens because that's the first priority we're going to have. That'll help us instantly. I think we're going to try to find some mature ones that can start laying eggs right away and a mixture of young chicks as well. That's the plan. I'll let you know how that goes once we hear from them. Well, we got the soil type returned to us, and it looks like we got a mixture of somewhat bad news. The grass field is all clay. The oats field, the yield kind of makes sense. We got a lot of clay in there. We got some loam, that's good, and we got sandy loam. We can deal with that real good. The top field's looking the best so far, but we can look at our pH levels now, and we can see it's in the yellow. We want to improve that dramatically. So we're gonna get lime in a spreader to take care of that, as well as nitrogen. I honestly, that's way too bright to even look at, and it makes me sad. I'm not really sure. We got a lot to teach them. So probably a lime spread that can also do fertilizer would be best. I haven't really looked at the implements to see if their planters and seeders can do fertilization as well. We'll find out soon on that. Well, the canola harvest went really good. You can see we have almost 91,000 liters, and if we look at the statistics, we could wait till December to sell it. We need the money though. $104,000 would be nice to get some upgrades in the spreader and some other equipment that we're gonna need. So we're going to start making trips and sell the canola. And at some point, we're gonna have to upgrade to a semi and a trailer because there's no way this is sustainable. After a couple hours of back and forth driving, we finally got all of the canola sold. Well, we saved a little bit. It wasn't worth making another trip, but you can see we're sitting at $62,000 for the farm's balance. And that's because we spent a little bit of money on this lime and fertilizer spreader. It's gonna be a beast. You see lots of lime. We have a lot of fields. This is probably not gonna be enough, so we're gonna get one of the guys on the tractor and get going on this. It's too bad we can't afford 2 of these, and there's a lot of fields here. So quick update here. We got the grass field all limed, and we also extended this grass field a little bit. We got that lime surveyed and planted with grass. So the last thing to do this month is to buy some fertilizer. You can see we're out of lime here. We did have to do one more purchase and fertilize this grass field and the wheat field that we just planted. So we'll go ahead and get that delivered and see where we're sitting financially after buying that. That's going to be a little bit expensive. And then we'll do a little summary of everything that's been done this month. Yeah, very, very exciting. I think we're tracking good for the 2-year progress. Well, I think we're off to a good start. We're going to drive over and take a look at the new wheat field here. Just talk through some things. We need a sprayer next for herbicide, and then if we want to switch to liquid fertilizer as well, we want to have that option. So that'll be something we need to look into definitely next month after figuring out what we're going to do financially. We have enough money to make the loan payments, and we'll have a little bit left over, but we got to be conservative for a little bit. There's so many things to buy to get this farm in a better state. Look at that. Very nice. Let's look at our tablet. Let's start with pH of the 3 fields that we took care of, and you can see they're looking good. They're in the green. Some areas don't need to be green because of the soil type. The new grass field is nice and taken care of. And as far as nitrogen is concerned, the fertilizer, you can see nice and green on the new wheat field. We'll take care of these other fields next. And we got to get these ones. Oh, 14 we could have scanned today. We didn't get that done, but when we harvest the soybeans, we'll come and scan both of those fields. And when we do the cornfield, we'll scan that one as well. Yeah, all in all, to summarize it, I think it's a good start for the harvest field farms, and we're tracking the right direction. Very excited to see how things progress for this farm and if we can get it super profitable by the end of 2 years. Welcome back to SW Farm Rescue. It's October and we thought we were going to have that door. Oh, we opened the bathroom door. That's hilarious. It's October. We thought we were going to have some soybeans to harvest, but instead the corn is ready. It looks like the soybeans need a little bit more time. So we'll hop in the Polaris here, and the first thing we need to take care of is we got the trailer over here already, but we have no way of scooping out the silage. So we're going to head over to the shop and see about leasing some equipment to help us scoop that up, and potentially doing something where we can trade with a farmer. I gotta get to know some people around town and set up some arrangements between the farmers. Sometimes that's a nice way to save money, is borrowing equipment from other farmers and allowing them to borrow from yours at no cost, just paying for fuel. We'll see about that. The other thing we're going to do is, like we mentioned, the corn is ready to harvest. We got the harvester prepped, but we want to get the silage taken care of first thing this morning. Went ahead and leased this telehandler, and this nice bucket here is about $3,000 to lease this. We'll go ahead and get some buckets full here, and oh, let's hope it can pull it off. But I figured with some of this money, we'll probably upgrade or attempt to upgrade our trailer situation. Oh, this thing's tiny. We will definitely not be buying one of these for the farm. We would not want them to have this equipment to deal with, but let's see if we can empty this out. It's a little awkward, but it's doing the job, so we'll get a couple of these trips done. Oh, come on. Just had to extend it a little bit there. But yeah, like I mentioned, we'll get a lot of this taken care of, and that should free us up to make a couple purchases to hopefully speed up the progress of the soon-to-be corn harvest. Well, at this point, I've lost track of how many trips it's been. We're at $64,000. We'll do another trip here. This should put us a little over 70, and there's a nice Roland trailer that we've already called about that should be delivered soon. As soon as I call him and tell him we have the funds, they will transfer the funds to pay for it. It should be back at the farm not too much after we get there. I mean, this is a far drive, so if I pull over here, give them that call, they could have it delivered by the time we get there. So we had Bobby pick up that trailer. We decided, I was talking to him on the phone, and he's one of my workers, and he's going to start loading that up. The two of them are going to load the trailer up that's there. We're going to load this one up just to get these done, because it's almost noon already. We're losing a lot of time in this day, and we have a big cornfield still to harvest, and a field I wanted to get planted as well. We're going to put barley in the field that we prepped last month. Those two foods, the wheat that we planted and the barley we're going to plant this month, will go for the chickens as well as the pigs to help with their food as well. And so the corn is going to be the main food that the pigs eat, but we'll give them a nice mixture. Pigs do like that. We should see them working right around the corner. Yep, they're busy at work, so get that. We'll keep going, make multiple trips here, and we'll let you know how much money we have. I'm hoping to get a sprayer too, so we could take care of some weeds with some herbicide. Here we are with the last load of the day. We got 11,000 liters here to sell. Let's see where this puts us. Hopefully we have enough for a sprayer and the bills. Otherwise we might have to find something else to sell. So we're at $53,000. Yeah, this is a little less than I was hoping left. We were gonna do the corn harvest, and I think while we're doing that, at that point is when I'll start shopping around and see maybe we can find a used sprayer, or like we were talking about earlier, maybe we could find a farmer we could borrow from and work out a deal with. So I think it's time to start calling in some favors on that. Looks like we got the harvest started. That's great news. Just in time for me to be the grain cart operator. Yeah, very good. Looks like they're making good progress, and we'll get in there and we'll get this going. We got a lot of things to do. We got to plant as well, so it's time to get really busy, get all three of us working. Henry might end up helping us today as well, so we might have a fourth set of hands to get this done. But let's go ahead and get into the farm area and work our way to the harvester. We only have one corn header, so that's something we'll want to purchase as well. This is a large field. It's going to take time, but like I said, we got other things to do, so we'll be able to have someone focused on planting that field with barley while we take care of this harvest. Well, we just got off the phone with Henry and he joined us. He borrowed a corn header from one of his buddies down the road, the Wilks. The Wilks had an extra corn header. Well, they don't have an extra. It's definitely one that they use, but they are not harvesting today. So we're able to borrow that, and apparently that's something they do all the time. So at least the borrowing and helping each other out is already a thing. So yeah, you can see in the distance there, we got two going now, and he's helping out today. So we did get that fourth person like we were talking about earlier. So things are good, progressing here very slowly on this huge cornfield. But I think the barley's just about planted, and we'll have to get them going on fertilizer next. And yeah, everything's on the up and up, looking good. Taking a look at our yield chart on the tablet, and we can see, yes, a lot more of the same. I'm assuming if we go to our soil type, we have the clay. We can kind of see the pattern that clay is going to come across this field number 7 as well. So a lot of pH to take care of. Yeah, yield's not looking great, but I have confidence we'll be able to improve that, and we should just about be done planting the barley, so they'll get on the fertilizing of that next. Yes, coming along real nice. We're all done with the corn harvest, and it looked about like we thought. Is interesting little pattern of the clay. We'll confirm that when we do the soil samples, but let's look at what we got. 166, almost 167,000 liters, which is pretty good. Max price 151,000. Probably not going to sell any of that. It's all going to go to the pigs. But we did get the phone call from the health department. We got the all clear for livestock. So we bought some chickens. You can see them in here. They were delivered while we were doing the harvest. We just got to get them some food now. Hopefully they're not too hungry from when they arrived. Go ahead and give them as much food as we can on this run here. And we'll drop the rest off at the silo. We got a cultivator going out in the distance there. You can see that a little bit. We're going to be planting a root crop there. I think we might go with potatoes for a nice add-on for the pigs next year. Not really sure yet. I still got to talk to Henry and to see if he aligns with that idea and what he usually feeds the pigs. So we'll go from there. We're almost done for the day. I need to take a little peek at some emails that I got about sprayers so we can get the herbicide done on the 2 fields that we've planted. Other than that, we're pretty much done for the day. Well, this is an expense I'm not a huge fan of. We did have to lease this sprayer, and unfortunately, no one in town had anyone available to borrow, and we didn't have any funds to really pay for it yet. So we went ahead and leased it. We're going to start with both these fields need sprayed. So we'll get off the road here. We'll open this up and get that done real quick. It shouldn't take long at all. Yeah, this should be pretty good. It's gonna only spray where it recognizes that weeds will be growing. So it shouldn't go through much of this product. And again, they gave us a full tank with the lease, about $4,600. We still got enough to pay bills, but next month we might have to do some selling of things that we didn't want to yet, just to make sure we're good for the year. I will keep you posted. Finishing up the herbicide spraying here, and I think we'll get one or two weeds that pop through after doing this, but it's definitely going to help keep the crop clean and not have any weeds that'll take away from the yield. I'm very confident that both of these fields are going to yield us extremely well compared to last time. It's a November morning. Bobby got an early start. You can see it's sun's barely rising right now. He's cultivating the oat field. Prep's probably going to put corn in that field here at the next harvest. And then yesterday finished up cultivating the old, I already forgot what was in it. I believe this one was our canola. So got that prepped. I think we're going to put potatoes in that. And we should see here in the distance in a little bit, the harvester's already harvesting the soybeans. So we got to get the grain cart going again. This will be our last harvest of the year. Really exciting. Oh man, that's pretty in the distance over there. We're getting our first little bit of yield data, and surprisingly, it's looking good so far. So promising on the soil type there. We haven't done the surveying yet, but it's the first time we've seen anything in the green. So yeah, this is somewhat surprising. It is the middle of harvest, but I thought I would give a financial update. You can see we're down to 187,000 on the aggressive loan here with the 21,000 a month loan. That naturally could get paid off in 9 months. I'm hoping to get that done in the winter here, as well as potentially put a good chunk into the mortgage. The mortgage is going to be a long one that's easier to handle payment-wise of only 2,600 a month. But we do want to take care of that for them because every little bit of interest on those is just it just sucks. So we want to get rid of the interest and make sure that this farm is as profitable as possible. Another thing we kind of talked about with Henry this morning was waiting until next fall to get, or sorry, waiting until next spring or summer at minimum to get cows and pigs. So all of these goods that we are picking up today, we're going to do another cut of the grass. We got this straw here that we're going to pick up. We're going to be able to sell all those when they're at the best price. And we're hoping that gets us in a really good financial situation for our first spring on the farm. We do still have some equipment to buy. It'd be nice to upgrade a few things. The cultivating in the distance is just, it's taking a very long time per field. You only have one cultivator, and it's not a very large one either, but we need to evaluate the horsepower on these tractors and see how big of a cultivator we could handle. Those are some long-term purchases, and we'll build a nice plan for Henry before we're done. It's been a long day. The only thing left really to do is to make sure we have enough money for our bills, and we're probably going to have to sell some oats for that. We just got done mowing the grass. We got the silage pit filled up again. We baled the soybean straw. We got all that done. We cultivated the old oat field. So let's go get those oats sold so that we can pay the bills at the end of the month. And then it's really time for the winter. And we got to find some creative ways to make sure the bills are paid in the winter. That's really going to be the most challenging part of this entire process. So I took about 32,000, almost 30, a little over 32,000 liters of oats with us. We're going to get that sold, and that should, in theory, give us plenty of money to pay the bills. And then December will be interesting. We'll have to figure out ways to pay the bills there. I know when January comes, December will probably be the only one that's tough. But when January comes, we'll get probably a good amount of our resources sold so that we can pay off some of that debt. It would be really nice just to get that loan taken care of so that we don't have to worry about income until harvest season in the fall. Or late summer. We're here at the Jackson farm and they have a need for oats. They were the best price on the market right now, so we'll get it sold here. Again, 32,000 liters should put us at plenty of income to pay the bills. We're looking for 24,000 as the goal. All set. We got $35,000 for that. Not too much of a loss. The prices are pretty good for oats right now. They're not at their maximum, but we didn't lose too much money by waiting until November to do that. We'll sell the rest of the oats in January when it hits its peak price, and we should be looking pretty good. Welcome back to SWU Farm Rescue. I'm Socks Way Up. Well, the winter in Iowa has been rough. Pretty much the entire winter it snowed on us. You can see here we are liming the grass field, taking care of that, making sure it's ready for the next harvest. And then the next thing we did was the nitrogen on the grass field as well. Really focused on maximizing the product out of that field. Then we sold a little bit of oats. Got all our straw sold as well in January, as well as the corn. We sold all the silage in January as well. And you can see in this clip, we finally did get a telehandler on the premises that is owned by the Harvest family. Definitely is going to help them out for the years to come. It's working out much better than the last one. You can see we're extending it there, dumping it into the trailer with ease, no struggle at all. Took it over to the sales station, the first of many loads. This definitely helped the financial situation in January. February came around and we did some maintenance on the tractors. We wanted to make sure they were prepped for the next year. It's a busy year for us. Everything needs to be running great. You can see we also did pay off the loan. No more loan. Just the mortgage left. The big loan is gone. Well, winter is almost over. Spring is just around the corner any day now. And we've gotten our sprayer purchased so that we can finally spray the weeds in this field. We got our narrow tires on both the implement and the tractor, which is very handy for this situation so we don't damage crops. So we should get this lowered here and turned on. It's been a very successful winter when it comes to sales and getting out of debt, as we probably showed you a little bit in the winter recap. But now it's focus on getting those animals to the farm and as well as focus on that big mortgage. So we still got some debt we want to get paid off before our 2 years is up here, but tracking really good so far. And the Harvest family is very excited about the progress they've already seen and the relief from those payments. We don't typically like to do this when there's frost on the crops still like this, but I wanted to get this done before they start growing again, and I think it will be okay. We'll test it out this time. We could have waited a few more days for the frost to go away, but I think it was best to get on top of this, and really haven't done much around the farm since November, so I was kind of itching to get into a tractor, not just driving back and forth selling product. With the spraying all done, our next job is going to be getting one of the bigger tractors and the Scout and surveying the fields that we haven't yet. I believe it's all 4 fields, all the 4 large ones. So that's going to be a little bit of cash, and realistically we could get away with just using this tractor. So let's go ahead and do that since we're in it already. After that, we'll start liming all 4 of those fields and plant one of them this month. As we talked in other episodes, we're definitely going to be spreading out the process of growing, and we don't want to harvest multiple fields in the same month if we can avoid it. So we'll be taking that into account during this spring planting season. No better place to start than over here. Lots of weeds in these fields. We got to decide if we're going to cultivate them or direct drill. I think we might do cultivation though for the first go around. Might be the best choice. but we'll get all the scanning done and show you the results. So all the surveying is done. We're gonna put this away back in the other barn so it's closer to my truck because this is mine. But you can see we're at $28,000 now. That ate up a lot of our cash getting that surveyed. So next we will get the spreader, start getting that going. We'll prioritize the field to the farthest field because that's the one we want to plant today. So we'll get that one done first. And hopefully we got enough money to pay for all this lime. At this point, we're hoping we didn't overspend. We're down to $17,000 from all of the lime that we bought. So we'll get this all filled up. And again, we'll head out to that far field out there, get it done. So I'm driving out here. I realized we never went over the soil types. You can see a nice bit of clay as we assumed, but then the rest isn't bad. So it looks like some areas are going to be a little rough in here, but other than that, I think we're going to do okay. But the lime's definitely going to help. The way we're going to use nitrogen is going to help, and this one was cultivated. So yeah, that took care of some of the weeds, but we will still have to take care of that eventually as well. But let's go ahead and get this thing turned on. And we missed a spot to begin with. Can't wait for my workers to get back to do some of this hard work for me. They should be here momentarily to help plant and spray and all that. There we go, lined up much better. All right, time to bust this out. You know, sometimes implements look bigger in the garage than they do out in the field, and this is something I'm a little sad I didn't recognize early enough, but now we're kind of stuck because of finances. We're going to put sugar beets in this field. We were talking about doing potatoes, but we're going to shift that to sugar beets because we don't have the money to buy a planter for potatoes, and we'll have to lease equipment to harvest this, but I think it'll be a good decision. You know, sugar beets and potatoes are interchangeable for cows. They like them both, so that'll definitely work for that. Or not cows, for pigs. So we'll get this planted, and this day seems to be, you know, flying by a little bit faster than I thought. It took a while to lime the field. But you can see behind me, we got one of the workers out there taking care of that one, which we're going to plant corn next month in. So we'll get the sugar beets planted, and gosh, it's going to be a long one. Well, I talked with Henry, and he decided that it was okay to spend a little bit of money on leasing a planter. The planter we're going to lease, we'll see that in a second. We're going to use this planter for the next 2 months for the 2 fields that need a planter, and then we'll return it to kind of fund it and keep money in our pocket. We're going to sell the existing planter and fertilizer kit, and after we sell the soybeans, we'll replace it with the long-term planter. It'll probably be the same one that we're leasing now that can do fertilizer and plant at the same time. So let's go get that. We'll drop it off for the tractor, pick up that implement and planter that it's using, and take it back to the store and get it sold. So we've made it over to the dealership here. We're gonna go ahead and we'll do all the repainting and repairing, get the most out of these. And sell that, puts us at 14,000. This one we will repaint, repair, sell that. Gets us at $66,000. We're gonna customize this while we're here. We're gonna add GPS to it. And I think that's about it. Go ahead and do that, 15,000 for that. All customized and set up. This will be nice. We take care of this. Weeds will not show up in this field at all. We might catch up though because of the width on this thing. That's okay. Well, it's April. Time seems to be going by fast. Just checking on the workers, getting this field limed, the old corn field. And then we drive up to our new corn field that should be getting seed put into the ground right now. And it looks like that is the case. Beautiful. We can see our sugar beets are starting to come in real nice here. You can see our wheat's growing really good here. Got a couple weeds that we missed, but overall, It's looking great. Let's check out the barley field next. They look very similar at this stage. Very similar. Barley's growing nice, in good condition as well. Things are going a little too smooth. The other field to check on is the grass field. We got this limed and fertilized last month. It's growing in nice. There's some product we missed. Growing in nice. It looks like maybe next month or probably June we'll do our first cut of this. Welcome to May. We have 27,000 in the checking account and about $400,000 in debt left. 438 to be exact. And today we're gonna plant some soybeans and sorghum. We'll go ahead and jump in the John Deere, get attached to the seeder, get out to the field and hand over to one of our employees. After we get the sorghum planted, we're gonna do soybeans in the big field right here. So we're gonna go to the far field for sorghum and soybeans for here. Well, the sorghum's planted. We're putting the nitrogen down now. I have no idea why this thing's jumping like that. And you can see in the background, we are putting some nitrogen down first on the soybean farm or field and planting the soybeans at the same time. I wanted to get a little bit of nitrogen in that field. It was in such bad shape from the years of not being treated correctly. So I wanted to repair it a little bit. Even though soybeans don't need nitrogen, I felt like the soil still needed the treatment. Bobby and Ken are taking care of that for us. I'm gonna finish spraying this, and then I'm gonna check on the chickens, make sure they have enough food, and that's about it for the month of May. So far, this farm rescue for the Harvest Field Farms has been very successful. Nothing bad has happened yet. Can our luck stay that good? Welcome back to Farm Rescue. It is June. We are, approaching 1 year to go here, and a lot's gonna need to be done in the next few months to make sure everything's kosher for the farm. We're gonna drive out here and see if we can get a view of one of our workers already spraying weeds on this field here. Yeah, you can see them out in the distance in the farther field. The soybeans are looking good, but they will need to be sprayed for herbicide as well. See how they're doing. You can see some dead weeds. Perfect. Looking great over here. We're gonna head back. Yeah, that's looking good. Just wanted to get a good view here. Nice. The see and spray is working great. Just spraying where we need. Let's head on back. We're gonna cut some grass. Today we're going to have to make hay as well as some silage, as we're getting dangerously close to wanting to purchase some cows. In a couple harvests from now, we'll probably be purchasing cows and pigs. So exciting times here at the harvest farm. We're getting it real close to back to where it was before the disease struck, and the chickens are doing good. We probably will sell some eggs as the price is starting to get good there, as we do have some things we still want to purchase. So what we're gonna do, you can see we already got the tractor set up here. And this will be what we do for silage. And then after we cut that, we'll cut the field over by the truck and we'll do that one for hay. I think that would be probably our best option to get a good mixture to start. We'll get this cut, and this, this isn't a field that we are maintaining with lime and fertilization, but we should be able to still get a decent yield out of it to get some silage to get us prepped for getting cows in. We're not going to sell the silage this time around or the hay. And then we'll rinse and repeat, or we won't rinse and repeat, but we'll do the opposite next time where we do hay on this side and silage on the other. And I think that might be a nice way to balance it out as we learn which product we're going to need more for these cows here in the next upcoming months. But yeah, we'll get this done. We'll get the herbicide done. And those are the 2 chores for June. After that, it'll be time to harvest the wheat and barley, at least one of them, I believe, in July. If we did it right, it'll only be one, but I have a feeling they're both ready, which is okay. They're smaller fields, so that won't be too much of a stress if we build that as the normal schedule for the harvest family. Going to sell the second set of soybeans. We have 600 some liters left. That won't be worth the drive. We can just do that next time or feed it to the pigs eventually. I'm really glad we checked the prices because they peaked a month earlier than expected. So we would have lost out on probably about $25,000 potentially if we would have not done that in time. So that was a good thing we checked. So we'll get this sold here and see where we're sitting, and then we have some financial decisions. This is where it gets a little difficult on what to purchase because there's nice to have things on the farm, and there's things that you can't live without, or you can't get as positive of a yield without, like a planter. You can't plant without a planter, so we'll have to replace that eventually. As far as maintenance on the fields, we seem to have everything we need. We could do with a roller and mulcher if we really wanted it, but I don't necessarily see that as a must-have while the harvest family is still in debt. And there's another $120,000. We're sitting at $258,000 for the family. At this point, we're probably going to start paying attention to sales of used vehicles and equipment and see if there's anything that pops up. And we'll wait. We'll be patient on the planter. Maybe we'll run into a used one between now and next planting season. So eggs is one of the things that we don't really want to have sitting around for a long time before we sell. We're going to load these up on the truck here. And then we got a couple more pallets that we want to take with us as well. Get those sold. You know, this is a good that will go bad if it sits around too long, so we want to get these sold, and they're at a pretty decent price right now. We're not going to lose too much from selling it now. Those bad boys strapped in there, and on to the selling location. 5,300 liters. You know, driving these eggs without a trailer reminds me that that is a piece of equipment we'll definitely need to take a look at for the harvest family. See if they can find a nice trailer for transporting pallets such as eggs. Seems like the only thing that we really don't have that we might need. Truck will do for now, though. Found the selling location, getting them sold now. Just over $12,000, not too bad. Now we're sitting at $271, and at this point, I think it's time to take a nap and rest until July when we have plenty of harvesting to do. Well, it's July and the harvests have started. This shouldn't take too long with both these harvesters. We have the wheat field and the barley field, as we're doing now, to go ahead and get that taken care of. And hopefully the yield looks pretty good. We'll be able to look at the data here in a second and see how much better it is. Matter of fact, let's do that now. Yeah, and looking at the yield charts, you can see the old is the inside, all the yellow and red. You can see we already have it up to the green, close to 120, maybe 115% projected yield. So right there, you can see all the prep that we did to these fields is 100% paying off. All of the yields are going to be 50% better. Great job we're doing here. Still nothing bad's happened yet. Well, after getting the wheat and barley fields harvested, you can see we're very green on both fields. You can just jump over to the soil type here. You can see the loam was very good. Sandy and loamy sand were not as good, but that's the results we get with the soil type that we were given. So all in all, pretty good. Let's look at the stock now. 77,300 liters of barley, over 100,000 liters of wheat. We'll have to get the chickens fed here in a little bit. Next is to get the harvesters put away and then bale up all of this straw. And we're super close to being able to get some cows. Today's August. We've been here for a year, and I underestimated the amount of equipment that the Harvest family sold to get out of debt or to get close to out of debt. We've got them. Actually, let's take a look at the update. You can see here we still have $434,000 on the mortgage, the low payment, and the 228 months remaining. We want to cut into that a little bit, but the low payment isn't hurting too bad. So financially, I'd say we're still winning, but we underestimated the amount of equipment still needed since they sold a lot of it off. Today we're going to be getting cows. We got everything ready. We got all the supplies that we need. So next is to get a semi and a trailer so that we can go pick them up, as well as we'll have to keep an eye on a tanker for the milk so that we can sell milk. So a lot to do. We're gonna head on to the store. Well, before we get into town, I wanted to show the only real field work that we're going to be doing this month is we're gonna plant canola in the field that we harvested last month. You can see that already started. You're still missing the corners. We've talked about this. So we'll come back and we'll yell at them when they're done and we'll have them fix that up. But let's head on over to the store now and look at the semis. So we spent $131,000. We're down to $132,000. So we spent about, just under half our money. Got this Mack truck here. It was a little used, but I think it'll do the work for us. Next is to head on to the animal dealership. We'll get my truck later. So we have arrived. This is exciting, getting cows and pretty close to pigs as well. But we wanted to add one livestock type at a time. Today we're gonna go with the 12-month-old brown Swiss. They wanted some cows that can produce milk. That's what they normally do with their dairy farm here when it comes to the cows. So we got a good amount here to start with. Get them taken home, and a couple more things we'll have to buy too is a food mixer. Yeah, again, underestimated some of the extra equipment we needed to buy. Look at our cows. Oh, this is gonna make Henry happy when he sees them. Just dropping off some straw to get this place started to get established. We'll have to get a food mixture delivered here. I called them already about it. It should be on the way. This is a smaller mixer here that we bought, so I'm gonna go and attempt to mix this pretty good here. Just not sure how it's gonna go. We put about 3,400 liters, which was 40% of this bale, and that calculated to 29% capacity here. Let's do just a little bit more. A tiny little mixer, but we're on a budget here, and Henry said it's one of his favorite things to do, so he doesn't mind. Get down about right there. Let's try that. About half a bale. A lot of mixes coming. Not a ton of silage here. Let's hope it's enough for until the next harvest. Go ahead and get, 2,600. It's kind of a nice amount for this mixer. We'll dump all that in there and we'll check the levels at that point. I think we'll go with one more bucket, see how that goes. Let's see how much capacity is left. We should be doing pretty good here. Not bad, probably a little too much silage for what we're looking for, and it looks like the rest can be the filler of straw. So we'll go ahead and back up and try not to run into things. And I guess it would be smart to just leave the bucket in here for now. And they're not gonna take this full bale, but we'll get as much as we can in the mixer here. About 2,000 liters, and I think we did pretty good. We could do a little less silage next time, but as of now, I think that's good. And we should be able to feed them right here. Filling up that food for them. And that didn't tip it much. We're gonna have to do about 4 or 5 more loads, I believe. And that'll get us set for a little bit. 12 cows, that should be plenty of food for a while once we get it completely loaded up here. So we did 3 mixtures for now, and I think that'll be good to leave as is. The last thing we have to do this month, since the field's already planted, is fertilize it. So let's go ahead and get the spreader going and get fertilizer filled up in it, and we'll get that done. And then it'll be September and plenty of time to do a lot of harvesting in the fall. Fertilization's all done. Now it's just time to rest till September. Well, it is September and the sorghum harvest has started. We got the wheat field being planted over yonder. Very exciting. Some time to make some money and potentially get some pigs very, very soon. Go ahead and get the grain cart all prepped, and this will hopefully be a pretty quick harvest with both harvesters going. And based on what I've been looking at with these crops, next month is going to be pretty intense with the potential sugar beets being ready and the corn. Yeah, we didn't plan that right. Well, nothing like getting a call from an employee telling you that they've ran out of gas in the middle of a harvest. So we're here picking up a rental gas tank that we can take back, and we're going to fill up all the tractors, all the harvesters, just to make sure. But this was not ideal. We got 2 harvesters that are full waiting for the grain cart and a tractor out of gas that was cutting the grass. Not ideal. Let's go ahead and get this filled up and we'll head back and give them a stern talking to, I think. Well, this isn't the one that ran out, but we might as well fill it up while we're out here. Got that one full. And there's our new wheat field. Looking great. Fertilized, seeded, all ready to germinate. Well, here's the culprit up here. They're so close to being done with the job too. They must have just pushed it a little too far. Got them all set, and thing is, it's kind of their responsibility to make sure that they have fuel at the start of the day. So I'm a little irritated. We're gonna just check the harvesters as well. Yeah, and they're all full waiting for us with the grain cart, but gotta make sure they got enough fuel. Harvesters are all set. We'll go back to the grain cart, fill that one up. It just needs topped off, and then we'll get back and empty those harvesters, and look how close we are to being done. Not ideal. We lost some time, but I think we'll be able to recover. We'll just probably, the audible we'll call here is we'll leave the grass on the ground until next month, and then we can row it and bale it and figure out if we have enough anywhere to put the silage, because we want to turn that all into silage since we have so much hay this time around. Yep, let's get this harvest done. Sorghum harvest is done, 182,000 liters. That is a lot. And the last thing I want to do is head on over to the cows and make sure that they're doing good with food. We gave them 3 full tanks full of total mixed ration last time, so hopefully we'll get a good gauge on how much 12 cows is eating. Plenty of straw still, not burning through that too much. Food's looking good. They got a little bit of grass over here to eat as well, just to graze on, so they're looking good. Starting to fill up with some of the stinky stuff though. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you next episode where we finish all the harvests and see if we can start eating into that mortgage a little bit and get the harvest family closer to completely out of debt before our 2 years at this farm is done. Last year, Harvest Field Farms lost their cattle and pigs to disease. We've been called in to help. Our goal is to help rebuild their herd and make the farm profitable again within 2 years. Whether we will succeed or not remains to be seen. Welcome to SWU Farm Rescue. Well, today is an exciting day. We're gonna get pigs on this farm. It's the last livestock that we need to replace for the harvest family, and we should have the correct crops and food prepared for pigs. But we're heading on over because today we're going to be harvesting sugar beets. You can see we got lime going in the field that we harvested last month. And we also got all the grass taken care of. We leased a wrapper because the silage pit was still full. So we got that all turned into silage, or it's fermenting now. But that'll be enough silage and enough hay and everything for a while for the cows. So now our focus is really on getting the pigs going. And we're gonna get over here, get all this prepped. You can see we leased a couple sugar beet harvesters to help us with this harvest. We got a nice trailer here as well that we leased. We did not have enough money to pay for any of this. It would be nice to have this long term on the farm, but we did have the truck already, so that will help. But no better time than now to get this harvest started. Well, we got our goof up fixed. They would not return the money to us for leasing that other trailer, though. We're down to $20,000 now. We wasted some money for the harvest family, but we got it all sorted out. So now it's time to start unloading this. And hopefully we didn't lose much time. I think we're okay. Just money. We just lost money. It's going to be a long day. It is nice to have a root crop silo here to drop off these sugar beets and get back to the harvesters. Dropping off our last load of sugar beets here, and after we do that, we'll look at the statistics and the yield data. Yield wasn't great. So we do have 1.16 million liters of sugar beets, and if we look at our stock prices, that's around $310,000. If we sold it all, a lot of it needs to go to the pigs, so we will be keeping it. But we look at the yield, it was very weird and it's inconsistent. I thought we'd get green in the center and we really didn't. So I don't know if that just had to do with the way it was operating, but you can see the total value of that field, $322,000. We are cultivating it right now, so that's why the costs are adjusting a little bit there. But you can see our money is at negative $822 because of the leasing costs. And we look at here, it was $77,000 to lease. So we're going to have to sell these eggs, get back in the green so that we can keep operating and make sure we have enough for that loan payment at the end of the month. So we will get the truck and hopefully we can fit all those in the truck. We don't have money to buy a trailer. It won't go in that trailer. Got them all loaded in here. They did fit pretty good. Just had to stack a few there. We'll head on over to the diner and get these sold and get this family back in the green financially. We are at the diner. We're going to sell them here. There we go. There's the right spot. And we are sitting at $13,900 now from that sale. Let's get back. It's time to get the corn harvest going before this rainstorm hits. Well, the corn harvest has started. We're going to keep using this trailer for the rest of the day. We might even negotiate buying it from the dealership that we leased it from. It's definitely something that would come in handy around the farm long term. So we're going to talk to the harvest family about potentially doing that. And yeah, this is a big field to harvest too. Hopefully we get there before the rain. The big question I have is this trailer going to be able to dump in here without hitting the top? Let's get out and watch. Oh, it looks like we got enough clearance. Nice. Is it gonna do it? It did. Very, very nice. Let's get back out to the field. Actually, while we're here, let's take a look at the yield data. You can see is improving on this field as well. Very nice. The exciting one's gonna be this number 7. That's gonna be a big cash cow. Big cash cow for the farm. Well, we just deposited the last bit of corn. As we look at the chart here, we now have 350,000 liters about worth of corn, over $1 million worth of product in our hands right now. Shut that off for now. Some of the things that we want to look at next, the chickens are doing good, the cows are doing good. It's time to get pigs, but money's a little low. If we look at the spreadsheet, we can see that sorghum is at a really good price at the Jackson farm. We have 182,000 liters. We're gonna go ahead and fill this up one time and sell as much as we can here in one trailer. See where money's at, buy some pigs, fill up all the food for the pigs, figure out exactly what we feel like we need till the next harvest, and start selling the rest of this product when prices are good. So we'll head on over to the Jackson farm, get this sold, and regroup after that. Yeah, with prices being abnormally good for sorghum, we're gonna sell that instead of selling corn. And if we do a couple of these trips, we should be able to buy this trailer and some pigs. So that's the plan here. First load gave us 57,000 plus 6,500 environmental score. We're at 76,000 now. Yep, we'll go back and we'll get another load, and then at that point we can buy this trailer, and then we'll head on over to the animal farm to pick up some new pigs. Second load here. Yeah, same amount again. Still high demand. Let's go ahead and get these purchases done, and we'll head to the animal market in a minute. Got the new trailer picked up. They gave us a $10,000 discount, so it cost us $85,000 for this trailer. We're gonna put it right there for now. So we are gonna take some more sorghum before the night is over. But let's go get our animal trailer, and this is exciting. Objective number 1 was to get all the animals back on the farm, and we're about to do that. Then our rest of our time will be spent on objective number 2, which is getting them out of debt and set up for long success. All right, let's look at the pigs we got here. Oh, we're absolutely going with the black pied ones. We're gonna go with the youngest ones. And we'll select and do as many. 36 is what we can do. That's only $7,200. Look at all of them. Very nice. Let's get them to their new home and get them fed. Oh, so exciting. We got pigs, we got cows, we got chickens. We did it. All right, let's see. The little piglets. Very nice. Next is to get this place populated with food. A lot more room for a lot more pigs as they breed. That's what the Harvest family wanted to do. They wanted us to get them a minimal amount of animals started, because they like the breeding process and getting their own animals established that are born on the farm. So let's put this away, and then we'll get the grain or the new trailer and fill up as much food as we can. The capacity of this building here is 170,000 liters. So we're going to try to get, just over 85,000 liters for corn, the base food. We'll try to get close. So after this load, it'll be 25,600 to go. We won't be able to get it exact, but we'll get it close. 28,000. Let's put a little bit back in here. That's probably close enough. And you don't have to do this exact, but we're going to try to get it as close as possible to not waste any product and get the pigs exactly what they need. See, base food, yeah, about 50%. Perfect. All right, so next is 25% grain, just 42,500 liters. We'll go get some barley, and we'll attempt to do that. 42,900 should be okay. The one thing we overlooked is protein. We don't have 34,000 liters of protein. We will next month when we harvest the soybeans, but we'll go ahead and we'll go with the root crop next, which isn't much. We only need 8,500 liters of our sugar beets, and we have over a million. We got a lot of that we could sell. 8,800 should do fine. So looking at it now, we're about where we want to be besides the protein. We'll get the little bit of soybeans we have just to give them a little bit of protein between now and when we harvest that tomorrow. And it was 165 liters. That's silly. That's silly. But we'll give them what we can. So that's all taken care of. We'll get some straw in there as well. That's not where it goes. You see the pigs are all started. They got food. There's a little bit of straw in here for them. Not a ton. Not a lot of pigs though, so it'll be okay. Last thing we'll do this month is grab the rest of the sorghum and go sell that, and then we'll make sure there's nothing else that's really worth selling this month before we get ready for our soybean harvest and prepping some fields for the next harvest. And here's the last bit of sorghum we're gonna sell for the day. It's only 4,000 liters, but it'll be nice to add to our money before we sleep. Everything sold that really benefits us this month, we're sitting at $115,000. With a lot more goods to sell and learning a little bit more about the pigsty there, that pig barn. Got a lot of sugar beets that we can sell in January. We're gonna get this farm out of debt. Well, today's somewhat bittersweet as it's our last harvest. We may have one in July, but for the most part, we're starting to hand things over to the Harvest family. The grass field across the street, we're having them take care of. Moving forward, we've trained them enough, got them up to speed on the way we do things. It's looking good. The pigs did good overnight. They're chomping away at their food. We definitely have enough capacity of food for them. We're getting the soybean harvest going. It's November. Not much to sell this month. We'll have to wait probably till January to get any more goods sold and to work on that debt a little bit. But we are sitting over $100,000 right now. Not a lot to do with it. We do need to buy the planters still, and just some goods for seed, fertilizer, lime, all of those things still to end the year out and get our planting done in the spring. We weren't planting anything else the rest of the year. Got everything that we're going to plant in the fall done across the street, also the wheat and barley fields. And later on, I'll show you our plan for these 4 fields that we still have yet to plant. Head on over to the pig barn to drop off the rest of these, or the first bit of these soybeans, so that we can get them fully stocked up on food. The rest is going to go into storage and make decisions on selling it in the near future. Making good progress so far on this field. Shouldn't be too long before we are done. Yeah, the pigs are very close to being completely full. 100% health. Very nice. 100% health on the cows and the chickens. We'll have to add a little bit of chicken food here pretty soon. While we're waiting on some of the harvesting to get done, we can see we have canola up in field 9 and we have wheat in field 10. So some of the things that we'll want to take advantage of, field 14 is going to be corn. We cultivated that already. We're cultivating field 8. We're going to decide between sugar beets and potatoes. We're going to leave that up to the harvest family, which one they want. And then that leaves field 13, which I think we'll do beans in. We'll do soybeans there. And field 7, we'll do barley in 7. So that'll be wheat, canola, barley, soybeans, corn, and probably potatoes this time around. We won't be here to harvest it for them. They'll have to lease the equipment themselves, but we've got them set up. Yield chart's looking really solid at this point. This all should be turning green, that's yellow, and everything red should be turning yellow. Kind of match everything else. We had a little mess up here. I'm not really sure why that became inconsistent, but maybe we'll never solve that mystery. Finishing up the soybean harvest. We got the baler already out there. They are over there. Lots of bales to do. We got some lime going down over here and some cultivating. Just prepping for spring. After today, most of my crew is going to be gone until March. So it'll be just me doing some odds and ends, making sure the animals are taken care of, even though Henry's going to do most of that work for us, and really helping him determine what we're going to sell. Thinking we're going to get the planter. We got to get a tanker for milk for the cows. And then after that, I think the rest of the money is going to go towards the debt and just extra money for the harvest family. It's exciting. We'll find out. That door closed. This door closed. Oh, kind of sad. Well, we just had our little tanker delivered. They said that they didn't want to go with the bigger one, but they wanted to go with this $25,000 variant. They tend to sell milk right away. They don't let it stockpile to huge amounts. So that'll be more than enough to get them by, and it saves us a little money. So we do have enough to buy that planter, but we're going to wait a little bit on that just to make sure we have enough cash. All the other vehicles were taken, so we took the Polaris. Not very realistic, but I thought it was fun. We're going to go ahead and sell all of this soybean straw right away. We have no real use for it on the farm, so we'll get it sold as we pick it up and keep doing these trips. No reason to store it, and the price difference wasn't very much, so it'll be good to just get it out of the farm. One last chore for November. We're going to sell this milk. We got 5,500 liters. So we'll get this over to this restaurant here that is in dire need of it. Just around the back. Oops, a little too far. Cool little restaurant they got here, you know. Got inside where you get the food, and then you can come out here and sit. Kind of dead right now. I think this time on dinner they'd have more people around. All right, that's $8,000 for that milk, so that's pretty sweet. So we'll get this back and get all the equipment put away. And I'll probably not see you till January. It's January. We have a slight snowfall going on. Today we're going to be selling a lot and doing a little bit of research on how the pigs have been performing food-wise. The harvest family is pretty confident of selling most of the goods. So what we're going to start with is the sugar beets. It's going to be a lot, I mean a lot of truckloads. So we're going to loop over here. We're going to fill this up and find the location to sell it that is best right now. It's going to be a day, and it's just me. Sent the guys home. They may not be coming back, so we're going to have the Andersons do the field work themselves in planting these fields, I believe, this time around. So I will catch up with you in a few. Well, I'm heading back almost to the farm. You can see after many, many trips of selling sugar beets, we kept about 94,000, 92,000 liters for them, for the pigs, and we're at $411,000. Oh man, we're close. We are close to the number we need. We got to get that planter ordered. I think I'm going to take care of that here next. Let me make a phone call for that. So it's arrived. It was delivered to us, and we're sitting at 268 now. So we'll get a tractor out and get that put away in a little bit. But next, let's figure out what else we need to sell. The next item I was looking at was an abundance of corn. So we're gonna go fill this up and make a few trips. It'll probably be 4 trips that we'll do, and we'll leave the rest, or it might be 3. We'll figure that out as we get closer. But you can see here we are sitting at 264,000 liters. So 3 trips or 4 trips we should be able to do and still have about 50,000 liters left over for them for feeding their pigs. And as we get closer to the magic number of paying off debt, which is now $427,000, talking to Henry, he wanted me to stop once we had that amount, pay off the loan, and then they're going to take over selling the rest of the items. Definitely what we agreed on when we started this whole adventure with them was to get them debt free as a bonus. And since we're so close to that, that's where Henry wants to stop. So he wants to take over after that, and I have no problem with that. We fulfilled our contract with them. Very exciting. I didn't think we'd be able to get it. I underestimated the size of these fields and how quickly we were able to pull this off. First load of corn here. Not bad. Not bad. A couple more loads and we might be all set. Well, based on what we talked, we just finished our third load of corn, and we have enough money. I'm going to go ahead and call the bank. I'm going to stop right here. Let's call the bank, transfer the money, get this family out of debt. You can see now they are out of debt, and we have $3,398. I'm going to head back and probably pack up because he said he wanted to take care of the rest himself, and we'll revisit this in July and see how the family's doing. We're here taking our last tour of the harvest farm. It is July. A lot of time has passed since last time we were on the farm. You can see here they're gonna harvest this today. Talked to Henry this morning. Everything's looking good. They're prepping the combines right now for that, as well as the barley down their way. Yeah, both these fields, just like last year, are ready to harvest on the same day, which isn't bad. They need some straw for the cows, so that'll be good. And then to our left here, if you remember where the entrance is to this field, I think we passed it. So we talked about sugar beets or potatoes. They went with sugar beets again, but in this field this time, looking good. You can see canola across from us. That's getting close to being able to harvest. A couple more months. Looking nice. In the back here, we should see some corn growing. Yeah, look at that corn. Awesome. They're doing great. One last field to check. Soybeans, nice. And they probably got a lot of soybeans to sell right now as well. Very cool. Well, we just got everything packed up, and it's time for us to hit the road for the last time. It's gonna be sad. This is a fun couple years here at the harvest farm. One of the easier recoveries that we did have. It was a little worrisome at the beginning. I wasn't sure if we're gonna be able to pull it off, but everything came together real nice, and they're a great family to work with. We are currently looking for our next farm to help rescue, and we plan on finding one a little more challenging next time. That's going to be a little more risky. Maybe we won't succeed. So let me know what you think about this series, if we should continue making series like this. Maybe slow down the pace or keep the pace the same way it is. I kind of like that it was only 5 episodes. I'm Socks Way Up. I'll catch you on the next episode of whatever video you watch. Have a great day.